Captain Anya Torres stood at the observation deck of the Starship Odyssey, staring into the vastness of space. The familiar hum of the engines and the soft glow of the control panels provided comfort, but today felt different. They were en route to Ms. G-17, a mysterious Martian station that had recently begun consuming energy without any apparent source. The crew's chatter was electric with anticipation, but Enya's instincts tingled with unease. As the ship drew closer, the vast red planet loomed ahead, its surface marked by ancient craters and dusty plains. The crew busied themselves with preparations, but Anya kept her eyes fixed on the station's silhouette against the Martian landscape. It appeared abandoned, yet there was an unsettling energy radiating from it. Like an echo of a forgotten past, Captain, we're entering the station's vicinity, her first officer, Malik, announced, breaking her concentration. The ship shuddered slightly as it hovered just above the docking bay. Anya nodded, her resolve hardening. They had no idea what awaited them inside, but they had a mission to complete. Once inside, the crew disembarked into the dimly lit corridors of Ms. G-17. The air was stale, filled with a metallic tang that hinted at long-ago activities. As they moved deeper into the station, Enya's heart raced. The silence was unnerving. It felt as if the walls themselves were holding their breath. In the central module, they discovered the source of the energy readings: flickering lights and a disconcerting hum. But as they approached, Enya's gaze fell upon the walls. They were scratched and marred, each mark forming intricate equations, a tapestry of mathematical formulas predicting disasters. Each equation resonated with a foreboding sense of familiarity, chronicling events that had already unfolded on Earth. What the hell is this? Malik muttered, his eyes wide with disbelief. Anya stepped closer, her fingers grazing the strange markings. The last equation was incomplete, a haunting reminder that something crucial was missing. A chill ran down her spine. What had happened? Here? Who had left this message? The air felt charged with dread as the crew exchanged uneasy glances. Anya knew they had unearthed something significant, possibly dangerous. The mystery of Ms. G-17 was unraveling, and she was determined to uncover the truth. Even as an unseen threat loomed in the shadows, with every second ticking away, Anya felt the weight of expectation pressing down on her. The equations hinted at a catastrophic future, one she might be able to prevent if only she could decipher their meaning. The disruption had begun, and Anya was at the center of it, ready to face whatever lay ahead. The atmosphere of Ms. G-17 was heavy with history, its stark corridors echoing the lives once lived within its walls. Anya had always been fascinated by ancient civilizations, and this station felt like a relic of a forgotten era. Her childhood dreams of exploring the cosmos were now tangible, but the thrill was overshadowed by the ominous equations scrawled on the walls. As she moved through the station, Anya recalled her time at the academy, where she had excelled in astrobiology and engineering. Her passion for understanding the unknown motivated her decision to join the Odyssey. The crew had become her family, each member bringing unique strengths to their mission. Malik, with his sharp analytical mind, often challenged her ideas, pushing her to think critically. His unwavering loyalty made him a trusted ally, even in the face of danger, amidst the station's eerie silence. Anya encountered Zara, the ship's communications officer, who was diligently scanning for signals. Zara's expertise in deciphering alien languages and codes had saved them on numerous occasions. "I'm picking up faint transmissions," she said, her brow furrowing. "It's almost as if someone or something wants to communicate." Enya's curiosity piqued. What could be trying to reach out? The unknown was both thrilling and terrifying. The technology in the station was unlike anything they had encountered, featuring advanced systems that hinted at an alien origin. It was a reminder of how small they were in the grand scheme of the universe. As the crew continued their exploration, Anya felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. The equations were not just numbers. They were warnings, and she was determined to unlock their secrets. With every step deeper into Ms. G-17, she was reminded that the mysteries of the cosmos had consequences that could ripple through time and space. As Anya and her crew delved deeper into Ms. G-17, the tension escalated. The equations on the walls began to shift and change, as if reacting to their presence. Anya's heart raced. It was as if the station itself was alive, pulsating with energy and warnings. They needed to decode the last equation before time ran out. Malik's voice broke through her thoughts. "Captain, we're getting multiple energy spikes. They're coming from the core of the station. It's almost as if something is awakening." The urgency in his tone sent a jolt of adrenaline through her. They had to reach the core before whatever was dormant fully emerged. As they approached the central core, they faced a series of obstacles. The doors were locked tight, requiring complex access codes that the station's systems had not yet revealed. Anya felt the pressure mounting. Each second lost brought them closer to disaster. She directed Malik and Zara to work on the codes while she scoured the walls for any clues that might help. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the corridor, causing the walls to tremble. Anya's instincts kicked in. "We need to move now," she shouted, leading the way. As they sprinted toward the core, Anya felt a growing sense of dread. The equations were becoming increasingly erratic, as if warning them of an impending catastrophe. Reaching the core, they were confronted by a holographic projection, displaying a catastrophic event that mirrored the equations on the walls. Anya realized that this was a visual representation of a disaster that could occur if they failed to act. The stakes were higher than she had imagined. "Look," Zara exclaimed, pointing to the hologram. "It's showing us the last equation. It's predicting a chain reaction that could destroy the station and potentially Earth." Suddenly, alarms blared, and the room filled with a deafening noise. Anya knew they were running out of time. The equations, the warnings, they were all connected. With newfound determination, she rallied her crew. "We need to work together. We can't let this happen." The pressure intensified as they raced against the clock, trying to piece together the final equation and avert disaster. Every obstacle they faced pushed Anya to her limits, testing her resolve and forcing her to rely on the strengths of her crew. They had to succeed, or the consequences would be dire. As Anya and her crew navigated the eerie confines of Ms. G-17, a series of subplots began to intertwine with their main mission. Malik, ever the analytical mind, grew increasingly obsessed with deciphering the equations, believing they held the key to understanding the station's purpose. This fixation strained his relationship with Zara, who was more focused on their immediate survival than unraveling the mysteries of the past. Their tension added an emotional layer to Anya's leadership, forcing her to mediate between them while maintaining focus on the impending disaster. Meanwhile, Anya's past began to resurface. Memories of her childhood, filled with dreams of exploration and discovery, clashed with the harsh reality of facing potential annihilation. This internal conflict drove her to act decisively, pushing her to confront not only the station's threats, but also her own motivations. The urgency escalated as the holographic projections flickered ominously, indicating that time was running out. As the crew worked tirelessly to decode the equations, they received intermittent signals from an unknown source. Each signal hinted at a deeper connection to the Martian station, suggesting that they were not alone in their exploration. The sense of urgency mounted, punctuated by Malik's frantic updates on the station's energy fluctuations. Anya felt the weight of responsibility for her crew intensifying. As lives hung in the balance, the subplots intertwined seamlessly, enriching the narrative while propelling Anya forward. Every decision made in the face of urgency brought them closer to potential disaster, and Anya was determined to navigate these complexities without losing sight of their primary mission, just as the crew began to make progress with the equations. A sudden power surge surged through Ms. G-17. Alarms blared, and the station's lights flickered violently, plunging them into darkness. The holographic projections, once stable, now twisted into chaotic images of destruction. Enya's heart raced as she struggled to maintain control. In the midst of the turmoil, an unexpected figure emerged from the shadows, an alien entity, cloaked in shimmering energy. It communicated not through words, but through images and emotions, projecting visions of the past and future. Anya felt a rush of dread as she realized this being was not just a remnant of the station's history. It was a guardian of its secrets. The entity revealed a shocking truth. The equations on the walls were not mere predictions, but warnings of a cycle that had repeated throughout history. Civilizations that had ignored these warnings faced extinction. The last incomplete equation hinted at a choice, one that Anya and her crew had to make to alter the course of their fate. Enya's emotions surged. Fear, anger, and determination clashed within her. The weight of responsibility intensified as she recognized the implications of the entity's revelation. This was not just about stopping a disaster. It was about breaking a cycle that had doomed countless civilizations. In that moment, Anya made a pivotal decision. Instead of retreating or succumbing to despair, she chose to confront the truth head-on. "We can't let this happen again," she declared, rallying her crew. The stakes had escalated dramatically. They were no longer just explorers. They were humanity's last hope against a recurring threat. The turning point was not a solution, but a catalyst. Anya understood that they faced new, unimaginable challenges ahead. The entity's warning loomed large, and the path to altering their fate was fraught with danger, but she was ready to lead her team into the unknown. The revelation of the alien entity sent shockwaves through the crew. Enya's leadership was now tested in ways she had never anticipated. Malik, initially skeptical, began to question everything he thought he knew about the station and its purpose. His obsession with the equations shifted to a deeper understanding of their significance, yet the fear of failure gnawed at him. Zara, too, was profoundly affected. The knowledge that they were part of a larger cycle of destruction instilled a sense of urgency in her. She began to forge stronger bonds with the crew, focusing on their survival rather than individual ambitions. The atmosphere shifted from one of fear to a determined camaraderie, each member understanding that their choices could alter the course of history. Anya felt the weight of the moment as she led them deeper into the heart of Ms. G-17. The equations were now a roadmap guiding them toward a solution, but the pressure was immense. Every decision carried the potential for catastrophe or salvation. As they worked to decipher the last equation, the alien entity watched, its presence both comforting and intimidating. Anya realized that they were not just fighting for their lives. They were battling against the inevitability of history repeating itself. New opportunities emerged as the crew embraced their mission with renewed vigor. However, dangers lurked in the shadows, and Anya knew that the hardest challenges were yet to come. The path forward was fraught with uncertainty, but they were united in their resolve to break the cycle and redefine their destiny. As Anya and her crew delved deeper into the mysteries of Ms. G-17, they faced challenges that tested their skills and resilience. The equations on the walls were becoming increasingly complex, requiring them to draw on their individual expertise. Anya had to use her knowledge of astrobiology and engineering to interpret the alien technology and its implications. Each day brought new revelations, and she could feel her confidence growing. Yet she knew she couldn't navigate this alone. Malik, once solely focused on the equations, became an invaluable partner in deciphering the alien technology. Their collaboration transformed the way Anya viewed leadership. She learned to trust her crew and delegate responsibilities. Malik's analytical skills complemented her intuition, and together they made breakthroughs that neither could have achieved alone. Anya realized that her strength lay not just in her knowledge, but in her ability to inspire and unify her team. Meanwhile, Zara's role evolved as she embraced her skills in communication. She began to establish contact with the alien entity, learning to interpret its messages. Anya admired Zara's determination, which pushed her to confront her self-doubt and embrace the unknown. The crew's collective growth was palpable. They were no longer just a team, but a cohesive unit dedicated to a shared goal. As they prepared for the final confrontation, Anya reflected on how far they had come. The challenges had forced her to adapt, and she had emerged stronger. However, the pressure mounted as the final equation remained unsolved. Anya understood that their success would require not only her newfound confidence, but also the combined efforts of her team. They had to rely on each other's strengths and overcome their individual limitations. In those moments of uncertainty, Anya recognized the importance of vulnerability. She shared her fears with her crew, fostering a bond that deepened their resolve. They were in this together, and the stakes had never been higher. As they prepared to face the unknown, Anya felt a sense of purpose driving her forward, ready to confront the challenges ahead as a unified force. With the countdown to the potential disaster looming, Anya and her crew intensified their efforts to decipher the final equation. The atmosphere aboard Ms. G-17 was charged with urgency and determination. Anya took a moment to address her team, acknowledging their hard work and emphasizing the importance of their mission. "We're not just here to survive. We're here to change the course of history," she declared. Her words ignited a fire within them, propelling each member to focus on their individual tasks. As they worked, subplots began to resolve. Malik, having reconciled his obsession with the equations, found clarity in his role. He shared insights that linked the equations to the station's core energy source, which could be harnessed to prevent the impending catastrophe. This newfound understanding not only strengthened their strategy, but also solidified Malik's place as a crucial member of the team. Zara, meanwhile, successfully established a clearer line of communication with the alien entity. She began receiving fragmented messages that hinted at a solution. As she relayed these messages to Anya and Malik, a sense of hope began to blossom. The crew was finally piecing together the puzzle, but time was running out. Events escalated as they experienced a series of tremors throughout the station, indicating that the core was becoming unstable. Anya felt the pressure mounting. Every second counted. They gathered their resources, preparing for the confrontation that lay ahead. Each crew member took on specific roles. Zara would remain in communications, Malik would handle the technical aspects of the core, and Anya would lead the final approach to the alien entity. As they moved closer to the climax, Anya honed her mental and emotional readiness. She reflected on the relationships she had built, realizing they would be her greatest asset in the challenges to come. The crew was no longer just a group of individuals. They were a family united by a common purpose. With a final review of their plans, Anya felt an overwhelming sense of determination. They were prepared to face whatever awaited them, ready to alter the course of their fate. The moment of confrontation arrived as Anya and her crew approached the core of Ms. G-17, where the alien entity awaited. The air crackled with tension, and the atmosphere was thick with anticipation. The holographic projections flickered ominously, showcasing the catastrophic scenarios that would unfold if they failed. Anya felt her heart race, adrenaline coursing through her veins as they entered the chamber. "Remember, we're in this together," Anya reminded her crew, her voice steady. Malik and Zara nodded, their expressions reflecting determination. As they approached the entity, it materialized before them, its energy shimmering like a living tapestry of light. "Why have you come?" The entity's voice resonated, echoing in their minds. Anya stepped forward, her resolve unwavering. "We're here to stop the cycle of destruction. We want to understand and change our fate." In response, the entity revealed the last equation, its form shifting to display the intricate patterns that held the key to their survival. Anya felt a surge of hope, but the entity warned them, "The choices you make will dictate the future." As Malik activated the core's stabilizing systems, the room trembled violently. The countdown continued, inching closer to zero. Anya felt the weight of the moment. Failure was not an option. Just as the energy levels peaked, a surge of dark energy erupted from the core, threatening to consume them. In a moment of sheer instinct, Anya reached out to the entity. "Show us how to break the cycle," she shouted, pouring her emotions into her plea. The entity responded, intertwining its energy with hers, forming a brilliant light that began to counteract the darkness. The tension reached a fever pitch as the core stabilized, but the outcome remained uncertain. Anya's heart pounded as she fought against the forces threatening to overwhelm them. With her crew's support, she harnessed the power of the last equation, channeling it into the core. In a blinding flash, the energy erupted, enveloping the chamber. Anya felt a profound connection with her crew and the entity, a moment of unity that transcended time. As the light faded, the countdown stopped, and silence enveloped them. The cycle had been broken, but the resolution was bittersweet. They had faced their greatest challenge, and the choices they made would echo through the cosmos. As the blinding light faded, Anya and her crew emerged from the core chamber, breathless yet victorious. The equations on the walls shimmered with newfound energy, signaling the end of the cycle of destruction. Malik had found clarity in his purpose, now committed to documenting their findings. Zara, having forged a connection with the alien entity, felt a renewed sense of belonging. Anya, transformed by the experience, understood her role as a leader. They stood together, united, ready to face the future. Together, they had not only altered their fate, but also embraced the unknown that lay ahead. Months later, the revelations from Ms. G17 reshaped humanity's understanding of the cosmos. Anya led a new initiative, working with world leaders to promote transparency and cooperation in space exploration. Malik became a renowned researcher, dedicated to studying the equations that had once haunted them. Zara, now a liaison between Earth and the alien entity, fostered communication that bridged worlds. While the scars of their journey remained, hope blossomed. The universe was vast and filled with possibilities, and the crew of the Odyssey had paved the way for a future where knowledge and unity could prevent past mistakes. What did you think of Anya's incredible journey through Ms. G17? Your thoughts and interpretations can drive the narrative forward. Share your insights and theories about the characters and their choices. If you enjoyed this story, click to explore our next adventure, Echoes of the Abyss. In this tale, we dive into the mysteries of a forgotten civilization and the consequences of awakening ancient powers. Join us as we uncover secrets that could change everything once again. Don't miss out on the excitement your next journey awaits.